Gary Cooper, the towering symbol of Hollywood's strong, silent hero, left an indelible legacy, yet his death in 1961 from cancer cast a profound sorrow over Tinseltown. His devoted wife, Veronica Balfe, stood steadfastly by his side until the end, grappling with the pain of loss and the turbulence of their complex marriage. Step into the untold story of their final moments, where love and tragedy intertwined in an unbreakable bond. Hollywood's romantic stories often create messy situations, and few stories match the drama of the love triangle with Patricia Neal. Gary Cooper rises to stardom in Hollywood. The Hollywood legend Gary Cooper was known for his understated acting style. His life began far from Tinseltown's glamour. Born Frank James Cooper in Helena, Montana in 1901, his authentic American frontier background shaped his performances that appealed to audiences throughout his 36-year career. Cooper's path to stardom wasn't typical after his studies at Grinnell College in Iowa. He moved to Los Angeles in 1924 with hopes of becoming an illustrator, but couldn't find work. He switched to films and started as an extra and stunt rider in westerns. His Montana upbringing came in handy for these roles. His career took off in 1926 with a supporting role in the winning of Barbara Worth ***. His natural presence and real horseman skills caught everyone's eye. Critics saw something special and called him a dynamic new personality and future star. Samuel Goldwyn wanted Cooper under contract, but the smart newcomer waited for something better. He landed a 5-year deal with Paramount Pictures at $175 weekly. Cooper built his reputation steadily through the late 1920s in silent films. Many silent film stars couldn't survive the switch to sound, but Cooper's natural drawl and understated delivery worked perfectly with his screen presence. His smooth transition to talkies made him a genuine star. Cooper's screen persona connected deeply with American audiences. He represented a unique kind of masculinity, strong yet reserved, quiet but decisive. Frank Capra said it best. Every line in his face spelled honesty. Our Mr. Deeds had to symbolize incorruptibility, and in my mind Gary Cooper was that symbol. Americans loved this character type during tough times like the Great Depression and World War II. They admired his strong moral compass. Both men and women liked Cooper. Men respected his straightforward strength and code of honor, while women were drawn to his looks and gentle sensitivity. What did Gary Cooper die of? Gary Cooper faced his own mortality long before Patricia Neal's cause of death became a topic of public interest. The legendary star's final battle started in 1960 when a medical diagnosis changed everything for the man who represented American strength on screen for decades. The public first learned about Cooper's health problems after his prostate operation in 1960. He denied rumors about having cancer. 5 weeks later, doctors removed a cancerous part of his colon. This started Cooper's private battle with cancer that ended up taking his life. The disease spread quickly. Cooper went through surgery for prostate cancer that had spread to his colon at Boston's Massachusetts General Hospital in April 1960. His condition required another surgery at Lebanon Hospital in Los Angeles to remove an intestinal tumor by June that year. The cancer kept advancing despite medical treatments. Cooper and his family received devastating news in December 1960 the cancer had spread to his lungs and bones, making it impossible to operate. Dr. Rixford Kenhamer, Cooper's physician, later spoke about his amazing strength. Any other man would have died 48 hours ago. Cooper showed remarkable dignity throughout his illness. He didn't complain and was spiritually enriched by the sacraments and books such as Bishop Fulton Sheen's Peace of Soul as the cancer progressed. His religious beliefs gave him comfort in his final months. Cooper said from his deathbed, "I know that what is happening is God's will. I am not afraid of the future." Cooper's family never left his bedside during his final days. He received the Catholic Church's last rites on Friday, May 12, 1961, while heavily sedated for pain. Gary Cooper died peacefully in his sleep at his Holmby Hills home the next day at 12:27 p.m. His battle with cancer ended at age 60. Hollywood and fans worldwide felt deeply affected by Cooper's death. Messages came from prominent figures including Pope John Roman XXIII, Queen Elizabeth, John Wayne, Ernest Hemingway, former President Dwight Eisenhower, Bob Hope, Audrey Hepburn, and President John F. Kennedy. Cooper received an Academy Honorary Award for his career achievements just weeks before his death. Jimmy Stewart accepted the award for his ailing friend and gave an emotional speech. "Coop, I'll get this to you right away. And Coop, I want you to know this, that with this goes all the warm friendship and the affection and the admiration and the deep respect of all of us. We're very, very proud of you, Coop. All of us are tremendously proud." Many Hollywood stars attended Cooper's funeral, including Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, who had hosted a dinner for him at the Friars Club in January 1961. Regular fans gathered to say goodbye to the actor who personified the strong, silent type. One observer said his death marked the end of an era. Mrs. Cooper knew about her husband's incurable illness since December, yet she handled his passing with amazing strength. She later wrote about their experience in a Good Housekeeping article titled "How I Face Tomorrow" by Mrs. Gary Cooper, which gave readers insight into Cooper's cancer battle and their family's journey. Veronica Balfe meets Gary Cooper in New York. Gary Cooper's life took a dramatic turn after his stormy romance with actress Lupe Velez. He met Veronica "Rocky" Balfe in 1933, and this meeting started one of Hollywood's longest-lasting marriages, though they later faced challenges, including Cooper's famous affair with Patricia Neal. Veronica Balfe stood apart from Cooper's previous romantic interests. She grew up on Park Avenue in New York City after being born in Brooklyn. A 20-year-old socialite and debutante, their paths crossed at just the right time. She came from a well-connected family, unlike Cooper's Hollywood circle. Her uncle was Cedric Gibbons, the famous MGM art director who created the Oscar statue. Gibbons' wife happened to be actress Dolores Del Rio. Balfe had tried her hand at acting under the name Sandra Shaw before meeting Cooper. She moved to Los Angeles at 17. RKO Radio Pictures executives asked her to change her name for screen work, so they picked Shaw from her family name and Sandra. She admitted she wasn't the world's greatest actor, though she had both beauty and brains. Balfe stood out from Cooper's past girlfriends because she combined sophistication with athletic talent. She won national championships in ski shooting and loved swimming, skiing, and riding. These shared outdoor interests brought them closer right away. Their romance moved fast. Cooper fell head over heels after their first meeting, and they became the talk of Beverly Hills society. He proposed just 6 months after they met. They announced their engagement on November 28, 1933, at a supper dance hosted by Balfe's mother and stepfather, Mr. and Mrs. Paul Shields, at their 778 Park Avenue home. The couple tied the knot on December 15, 1933, at the bride's mother's Park Avenue home. They changed the venue from the Waldorf Astoria Hotel to avoid public attention and Cooper's crowds of admirers who had been following him in New York. Reverend George A. Trowbridge from All Angels Church performed the ceremony with only family present. Cooper's marriage changed him more than Hollywood expected. The famous bachelor gladly gave up his partying ways. Rocky kept her own identity despite being married to a movie star, and gossip writers noticed Cooper's improved behavior. Their marriage hit rough waters years later when Cooper started seeing Patricia Neal after meeting her while filming The Fountainhead. They separated in 1951, but patched things up in 1953, staying together until Cooper died in 1961. Veronica was later laid to rest beside her husband in New York. Patricia Neal begins affair with Gary Cooper. Patricia Neal and Gary Cooper's life-changing romance started in April 1948. Neal was just 22 when director King Vidor spotted her at the Warner Bros. Studio lot. She had just come to Hollywood after winning a Tony Award for her role in Lillian Hellman's Another Part of the Forest. This chance meeting would spark one of Hollywood's most talked-about love stories. Vidor asked Neal to test for the female lead in The Fountainhead, and she liked the script. Getting the role wasn't easy, though. Cooper watched her first audition from offstage and really didn't like what he saw, saying, "What's that?" Vidor wouldn't give up and called her back for a second test, which she passed. Shooting started in early July 1948 in Knowles, California. Neal felt a strong pull toward Cooper during their 3 days at California's largest stone quarry, even though he hadn't liked her at first. Back in Los Angeles, their chemistry became impossible to ignore. Neal remembered exactly when she knew they were in love. It happened during rehearsals for a scene where Rourke Cooper tells Dominique Neal he loves her. Reality and fiction blended as Cooper's character kissed her cheeks, nose, eyelids, and hair. Neal said, "I looked forward to each scene we would play together with a new sense of expectation. Lines in the film became pregnant with meaning for us." Neil waited until filming ended before starting their relationship. She believed it would help keep their on-screen tension strong. Their affair officially began at the wrap party. Cooper and Neil met at friends' homes to keep their careers safe. Their secret fell apart in spring 1949 when Cooper's friend and publicist Harvey Orkin accidentally invited Neil to Aspen, Colorado, where the Coopers were building a new home. Rocky confronted her husband that night. Cooper admitted he was having an affair and was in love with Neil. Rocky told their daughter Maria about Cooper's cheating. Both mother and daughter declared war against Neil, though Rocky kept up her public image as Mrs. Gary Cooper. Neil learned she was pregnant in October 1950. Both lovers welcomed the news at first, seeing the baby as a symbol of their love. Cooper thought about using this news to finally divorce Rocky and marry Neil. Reality hit hard after they saw the public scandal around Ingrid Bergman's out-of-wedlock child that year. Neil suffered deeply from the affair. Cooper pushed her to have an abortion, a choice that haunted her for decades. "For over 30 years alone in the night I cried," Neil later shared. "For years and years I cried over that baby. If I had only one thing to do over in my life, I would have that baby." Mother Dolores said Neil never had a day's peace thinking about that after the abortion. Neil broke down when the relationship ended. Some say she had such a severe mental breakdown after Cooper chose his family that she left Hollywood temporarily. Bad feelings lasted for years. In 1959, after Neil's last meeting with Cooper in London during the wreck of the Mary Dear filming, Maria Cooper glowered at her from afar during a chance encounter in New York, showing how deep the hurt still ran. Maria Cooper once spat on the ground when she saw Neil, a reaction Neil later said she understood. Neil always said Cooper was her greatest love. "I loved Gary Cooper for years and years and years," she once said wistfully, "and I still love him." Gary Cooper reconciles with Veronica before his death. Gary Cooper's painful affair with Patricia Neal ended up bringing him to a crossroads in his personal life. He had to choose between his mistress and his family. The situation reached a breaking point in May 1951 when Cooper and his wife Veronica "Rocky" Balfe legally separated. This started years of personal turmoil that would only resolve shortly before Cooper's death. Gary Cooper and Rocky's official separation started on May 16, 1951. Cooper's relationship with Patricia Neal had become unbearable for the family. The separation lasted about 3 years. During this time, Cooper dated several women. His troubled relationship with Neal continued, and rumors spread about his connections with High Noon co-star Grace Kelly, actresses Lorraine Chanel and Giselle Pascal. Cooper showed clear signs of emotional strain by late 1951. His contemporaries saw him drawn and weary, consumed by guilt over his conflicted feelings between Neal and his family, especially his daughter Maria. Though he thought over marrying Neal, losing his daughter's respect was too much to bear. The Coopers' experience toward reconciliation took a significant turn on June 26, 1953, when they traveled to Rome. They arranged an audience with Pope Pius XII and brought their daughter Maria along. People close to the couple believe their Vatican visit played a vital role in saving their marriage. The reconciliation happened gradually, and the couple officially ended their separation by February 1954. Cooper's religious views changed substantially during his final years. His childhood baptism in the Anglican Church and Episcopal upbringing gave way to an interest in Catholicism. This shift possibly helped him reunite with his family. His spiritual experience concluded on April 9, 1959, with his baptism as a Roman Catholic at Beverly Hills Church of the Good Shepherd. Cooper managed to keep a close relationship with his daughter Maria through the difficult years and after reconciliation. Maria later said, "We had a very close family bond." She emphasized that having loving parents who show you discipline gave her substantial advantages in life. Cooper took his fatherly role seriously. He gave Maria guidance that built her confidence as a young woman. "He told me, 'Don't let any man intimidate you. You are going to be a beautiful woman. Stand up for yourself,'" Maria remembered. "He respected her independence, too," Maria noted. "He basically left it up to me. He and my mother were very realistic. I came to my own conclusions about what I wanted in my life." The family's multiple residences included homes in Los Angeles and Aspen, Colorado. They also spent time at Rocky's parents' home in Southampton, New York. Maria wrote Gary Cooper off camera, A daughter remembers to show her father beyond his screen persona and highlight their family dynamics. Maria continued her career as an artist after Cooper's death in 1961. She married classical pianist Byron Janis in 1966. The couple celebrated their 57th wedding anniversary in April 2023. Maria described the marriage as the greatest fortune that could have ever happened to me. Veronica Cooper reflects on her husband's death. Rocky Cooper broke her silence 2 years after cancer took her husband. She shared her private struggles in a candid Good Housekeeping article while managing to keep her public composure. Their marriage faced its toughest test during the Gary Cooper-Patricia Neal situation that almost tore their family apart. How I Face Tomorrow captured Rocky's raw emotions about watching her husband's health slip away. I knew for 4 months before Gary died that he had a terminal illness, she shared. The reality hit both of them when doctors suggested a Jamaica trip to build him up. Rocky knew this meant hope was gone. She protected their daughter Maria from this harsh truth until the very end. This gave Maria precious last moments with her father without the weight of knowing what was coming. Rocky prepared herself mentally for life without Gary while making sure his final months held meaning. The interview steered clear of Patricia Neal. Rocky chose to highlight how their reconciliation brought them closer before Gary's illness became public knowledge. Our marriage had been shaky, but in the end, it was a good marriage, she reflected. Life after Cooper brought Rocky face-to-face with personal grief amid intense public interest. She found comfort in quiet routines and family time, staying away from Hollywood events that might trigger painful memories. Headlines about Patricia Neal's death years later barely touched Rocky's new life. She had built an identity beyond being Gary Cooper's widow. Her 1964 marriage to surgeon John Converse showed she could honor Cooper's memory while embracing new beginnings. Rocky's story showed incredible strength in facing betrayal and loss. People admired how she handled the complex aftermath of the Gary Cooper-Patricia Neal situation with grace instead of anger. Patricia Neal survives stroke and rebuilds her life. Patricia Neal faced a life-altering battle several years after her heartbreaking affair with Gary Cooper. The 39-year-old pregnant actress suffered 3 massive cerebral aneurysms that left her in a coma for 21 days during the filming of John Ford's 7 Women on February 17, 1965. Neal's return to consciousness revealed devastating changes. Her right side was paralyzed, her right eye's vision was partially gone, and she struggled with speech. Words became jumbled in her mind. She called a cigarette an oblagen and referred to a drink as a soap driver. Medical experts saw nowhere near enough hope for meaningful recovery. Roald Dahl made a revolutionary decision that changed stroke rehabilitation, notwithstanding that doctors recommended only few hours of weekly therapy. He created an intensive 6-hour daily regimen. His tough love approach meant Neal had to correctly name items before receiving them. Neal later reflected, "Rolled the Rotten, as I had called him more than once, had thrown me back into the deep water, where I belonged." Neal's determination paid off. She made her first public appearance at the 1967 Academy Awards, where she received a standing ovation. Her comeback continued with a role in The Subject Was Roses in 1968, which earned her another Oscar nomination. The Patricia Neal Rehabilitation Center in Knoxville, Tennessee, stands as a testament to her remarkable recovery.